think as is demonstrated with, not only with Cubby Hubert Selby's words, but with his life, not with this mic, there's a healing going on. A profound healing. It's no accident that movies like When I Wrote This, Field of Dreams, and Rain Man, or Harry and Sally, or Drive Miss Daisy, or This Summer Ghost, no matter what we think of their art or politics, are proving the lie in all the cynical projections of what people want. What they want is a healing to take place. Gorbachev didn't become a hero around the world and win the Nobel Prize because he knew how to manipulate the media. Did you ever see an interview with this guy or watch him make a speech? Media manipulator my ass. It isn't him. It's what he represents, even now. The healing of a wound almost a century old. Isn't it obvious by the response of the world to him? Or to the Chinese students in Tiananmen Square? Or to the release of Nelson Mandela? It's a healing we all want. Hey, I know about wilding and gang rape and gang violence and gang stupidity and cowardice and all the rest, but we know where at least some of that comes from, don't we? I think we know, and so do those kids, what's good for the soul, the spirit, the heart. But when the good has been torn apart by public figures who act as if they have no responsibility toward this world, whose world is it anyway? Or rock and rollers or movie stars or TV celebrities who speak out about pollution and then personalize it in their own lives by polluting hearts and souls and minds with messages they take no responsibility for. And I'm not talking about sexual jokes and innuendos. I'm talking about violence that is presented as power and reward and even inspirational. I'm talking about accepting and even celebrating the cynical attitude that everyone seemed to acquiesce to in the 80s, for which we are all now paying the price. I'm talking about adding to the confusion and fear and hatred and rage by accepting the unacceptable, by ignoring the unignorable, by pretending reality is worse than it is, and then giving into that pretension until it becomes reality. I want the healing. And I believe with everything that's in me that even those who will write parodies or speak them as soon as they finish, as soon as I step down tonight, or maybe you're even doing it now as I'm reading, of what they can easily dismiss and turn into a self-defensive joke about my own hypocrisy or pretensions, even the wits who can turn misery into charisma. And though I know I'm no wit, I also know I sometimes can do it too. Even us poor victims of our own delusions of sincerity, no matter how hip, want a healing to occur and want it now. The whole world is longing and has been longing for that. Why else is Jesus so popular, or Buddha? What is it that repulses us in the struggle of the Arabs and the Jews, or blacks and whites in South Africa, but the lack of a healing between two cultures that generate all our own fears about differences and the rage that fear of the different and unknown can create in total strangers when they see us tearing down the walls that create those differences. I've said it before, and I'm not going to stop. People come out every week in this town to hear poetry, not because some star might be there. That's only People Magazine's excuse to be where a true healing is going on. For in hearing the troubles and longings and truth of other lives, no matter how famous or rich or unknown or Jewish or young or frail or perfect or a wreck, they see the common thread, that it isn't about women and men and young and old and black and white and rich and poor and famous and unknown. It's about this deep and abiding and relentless yearning for a healing to take place in all of us and between all of us. It's not even about humans and animals and nature and commerce and all that either, because even there, even businesses and trees and cars and the very air and sea and earth itself are making that longing known. You can hear it in the wind and smell it on the flower. All creation is crying out for a healing to take place. It is time. It is beyond time. It is timeless. And yes, of course it begins with me and with you. Who else? And yes, I have felt it since we met and held each other in a way that offered no defenses, no obeisance to the differences that we know so well are so truly just the flowering of the creative imagination of the universe. and not a reason to run or quit or give up in frustration and anger and cynicism. No, the differences only help us to see how much we are the same in our souls. Soulmates, for sure. How else explain that two such unlikely people can feel so comfortable in each other's arms, can ignore all the warnings from past experiences and cynical friends that something is unreal if there is no doubt, no struggle. The only struggle is with acceptance, acceptance of the truth. And the truth is, we all need a healing. And you and I can feel it happening for us in ways that go beyond our simple male and femaleness, our white and blackness, our age differences, our family and career and neighborhood, and all the other differences beyond our humanness. A healing that, like Hubert Selby says, heals those issues for all time, in all eternity, for all the years we've spent on earth so far, and all we will continue to spend. And if that can happen for us in the simple act of trust, what more can it do for the rest of the world? I don't believe people who say you can't make movies that don't have violence or superficial values or all the bullshit negativity this town and every business tries to lay on those of us who refuse to relinquish our innocence and hope because we have not succumbed to the dope of giving up. Hey, I know this sounds like preaching, so hold me accountable. I'm talking about a healing here that I needed desperately all my life and still do. And that I finally feel has truly begun with you, and not just you, but others too. Oh, people, let us start anew and pledge right now and to each other that we will no longer take part in any project, whether business or art or any affair of the heart or collaboration or conversation or even thought that isn't true. So let's start right here with me and you. And you, and you.